truly inspirational. However, no one can tell her story better than she can. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Eboni Ramsey.
Good afternoon, everyone. As she said, my name is Eboni Ramsey. Last year was the worst time of my life. My daughter was outside playing and she was a victim of a drive-by shooting. She lost vision in one eye and she made a poor recovery. At the time, I knew I wanted to move and I knew that where I was living was not safe. Sandy Jackson, the alderman, gave me Miss Lynette Barnes' number to call for assistance. I went to the office, they assisted me right away, and I was able to move before my daughter got out of the hospital. I also called again last year for assistance for mattress. They was able to help me. So I do thank the emergency fund for all they've done for me and my family. They have made a difference. My daughter now is able to go outside and play, and at a point in time, she didn't want to go back outside, period. So they have done a lot for me and my family, and her grandmother is here today. She was outside playing by her house, so it was definitely hard for all of us. So again, thank you.
Thank you so much, Eboni. Thank you, Eboni. You know, Eboni herself told the story of how her life was impacted and what happened to her daughter. And I think, again, that's another example of how small change matters. Now, I think Linda's coming up. Linda, come on up here. Linda is an employee at the Emergency Fund, but I'm going to let her tell the story of how she came to us, or how we came to each other, maybe.
Can you all hear me? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As she stated, my name is Linda Haynes. I have been an employee with the Emergency Fund since December of 2010, and it's a great pleasure to work for such an organization. I am that perfect example of one paycheck away from homelessness. I'm sorry. I am one who doesn't believe in coincidence. I believe I arrived at this moment by fate. My journey into homelessness began in 2008. I've always been employed since I was 19 years old. I'm not going to tell you how many years ago that's been. I'm a single parent of one teenage son. And providing for us is never going to work. I've always been able to provide for myself, my family, and my child. Through some personal experiences with the death of a loved one, I fell apart. Couldn't go anywhere, couldn't work. That's how I became homeless. We ended up having to go live in a shelter. And that is devastating to someone who's always had whatever they wanted, or whatever they could buy or work for. So, through a case manager at Southwest Chicago PADS, I was introduced to Heartland Alliance, where they enrolled us into their Families Building Communities program. They housed us, they paid our rent until I got on my feet. Through Heartland, I became a member of the CARE program. The CARE program helped me here and it helped me here. They in turn introduced me to staff at the Emergency Fund and they hired me. So, that was a wonderful thing to do for me. I didn't realize what I was getting myself into, but I'm glad. One thing that I've always believed in is giving. So as soon as I started earning money again, I started donating money again. And what better place than right where I sat at the Emergency Fund. You see, during my interlude with poverty, I didn't have funds to donate. But I donated my time because that's just the type of person I am. Doesn't matter if I got 2 cents and you need one, you got it. Doesn't matter if I have 2 peanut butter sandwiches, you got one. Or half, that's just my nature. Which brings me to the mason jar. Everybody has mason jars on their table. And small change does make a difference. If I had had one of these mason jars full of change, I would have felt like a Rockefeller. I had nothing. Nothing but food stamps. So I didn't miss a meal, thank you. Okay, so 50 cents enabled me to call my case manager because we had to call our case manager once a week. $5 would get me some soap and toothpaste at the local family dollar. So small change does matter. Quarters add up to washing a load of laundry at the laundry. So what I'm going to do, and what I don't mind doing anyway, is I'm going to fill my mason jar up and donate. So I want to thank everybody for listening to my story. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Linda. I suppose you all are getting the idea of what small change matters really means. And so what I hope you will do is take home a mason jar with you tonight and either leave it somewhere where you think it can be filled up, or put it on your bedside table and empty your pocket money into it every night. I'm going to take 2 home, one for myself in my own house, and one for my husband to take to the office because I know he understands that small change matters. What we would like to do, and we have these mason jars in different places and in different offices around the city, and what we would like to do is have everybody bring those mason jars back to our event in October, Paint the Town Blue, and we're just going to see how much small change matters in October.